Alright, this is Thursday on my 4-day split. This is one of my favorite days. Of course, I'd say that on the other 3 days too, but the deadlifts are on this day. I always like doing deadlifts, and that's kind of because I'm getting to where I'm lifting some, for me, what was heavier weight. Now I'm still far below like actual strong people. But today I'll be shooting for, I believe it was 350. Yeah, 350 pounds is what's on the schedule for this day. So I start out with a little ab work and just some hanging knee raises, and then followed by these planks. So this, I actually did like 3 sets. I'm not gonna bore you through watching me do 3 full minutes of planks, but just to prove that I did it, I got this this one angle here. So I started out with some stiff-legged deadlifts, and I've increased my weight a little bit here. I actually increased it by 50 pounds. So when I did these, it felt really good to do the heavier weight, and I had a successful lifting session. It was, all the reps I wanted to get done were done, and plus, then a few extras on these. So I am planning on adding 20 more pounds to it this time, the next time. So that'll be 225, which I've done 225. I've done a lot more weight with stiff-legged deadlifts, but because there's such a possibility of bending my back and hurting my back, I've been building back up from a lower weight on these and using more as a kind of a warm-up for the deadlift, the actual deadlift. I feel like my form is pretty good. In fact, using a little heavier weight, I think my form actually improves. It just keeps me more mindful of it. I always have to keep my arms and my shoulders stiff on this, and my back drawn back. Probably could stick my chest out just a little bit more, but I don't know. I'm sitting here in a chair right now watching this, so I got the long socks on, and I had the other colored long socks, and I would get made fun of when I use those. So these are black, so my wife won't be able to make so much fun of me. My wife, who has her wonderful princess dress back there and some sort of purple cape. I don't know what she's doing. In the background, you see I'm actually watching my previous videos of this day, basically so I can listen to myself while I'm doing this for anything that I might have noticed in previous videos. Sometimes I just talk about random things. Sometimes I talk about the workout. So I don't think of any kind of random things to say. Randomly, today is the first day of the I guess it's impeachment hearing, but of course you can't impeach a private citizen, so it's kind of a strange thing. Plus, the person who's overseeing this supposed impeachment is just a senator, and it says in the Constitution that an impeachment has to be overseen by a chief justice, so that's kind of strange. And the news is, it's very strange today. I'm not sure what's going on with our country. We're so far away from constitutional government that it's almost as if we're being ran by a mafia. And that's not an exaggeration. That's if we're not bound by the Constitution, then it's just some people with guns who are in charge, and they can kind of make up the rules as they go. That's what we have with all of these executive orders, and Congress they're just there as a persecution body. They're not doing anything. I mean, it certainly seems like a mafia. Maybe oligarchy is the right word. Alright, well, this is a 350. On these first sets, especially this one, I definitely, like, it's funny. This is as much as this is about your body, it is your mind too. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna have to quit. I'm gonna have to stop. And that's the challenge that you got going on when you're doing a deadlift. You're fighting against yourself. It's like an argument, and the guy who wants to quit, that's the smarter one. The only reason I'm wearing that hat is because it's rather freezing in the house. On this particular day, it was very cold. It was, in the negative degrees, and with the wind chill, and it also snowed the same day, like a ton. We have a long driveway, so I get to if it snows a lot, then I get to go out and spend like an hour out there just clearing the snow so that people can get up the driveway, which of course has a huge giant hill in it. So by the third set of these, I started to feel a lot better about it. I wasn't, you could say warmed up, but I still think it's like a mental warm up. Other than the stiff-legged deadlifts, I didn't do any warm up to do this weight. So my previous workout plan, it was a 7-day split, and one of those days was devoted just to deadlifts. So I actually did like 14 sets of deadlifts on that day. Sometimes I'd throw some ab work in, but usually it was just the deadlifts. And 14 sets of deadlifts is a lot of deadlifts, especially since I was trying to go for like higher rep sets. So like in the beginning, I'd be just doing deadlifts of 225 or something, and trying to hit that for like 12. I hate when I do that right there, when I like jerked. But you go and you do sets of 12, and then you keep on increasing the weight, and you bring it down low until I was doing like one set of something that was a lot heavier than this. And that was fun. It's always fun to lift like really heavy weight, but I'm just trying to build it up so I can just get to that heavier weight, but also be able to get some volume in. So 25 repetitions throughout 5 sets isn't too bad. And I believe I did get at least one extra rep on this day. I just got my little cheat sheet in my hand here. I use the strong app. If anybody ever watches this that doesn't normally work out, I highly recommend getting the strong app, programming in your workouts, and then going through the workouts. I've gotten into some trouble sometimes because sometimes when I'm sitting down at a table and I'm just planning out my workouts, I put a little bit too much volume on, trying to do too much in one day, and I run out of time, and then I'm always trying to do makeup. So I sat down and actually with a pen and paper and programmed out, how much chest work do I want to do, how much back work do I want to do, how much arm work. I'm going to start with biceps now. How much of each body part do I want to do in a given week, and then I divided that up over 4 days and tried to make a somewhat sensible workout that I could split over 4 days, and then do it every single week for 26 weeks so that I can see what the end result is and where I was able to improve. 6 months is going to be the longest time I've worked out a single workout. I've bounced around a little bit. Well, actually, no, I did starting strength last year, or 2000. Yeah, it was almost, maybe it's 2019. I did starting strength, and I did that for probably about close to a year. It's funny, I get to a certain weight and it's like everything kind of stalls out, and I'm not increasing the weight. I look at my squat. My squat seems to be stuck at about 315 pounds for sets of 5, and even that, most recently I failed on those. On these bicep curls, I'm really trying to make sure that I'm getting the good form and really feeling it when I get done with my workout. So I think these are dangerous times in America. I think if we got these guys in power and they're just making rules as they go, eventually there's going to be somebody in power who they're just going to say, yeah, we're not going to have elections anymore. I mean, why can't they just executive rule or executive order away the election? If they can executive order away freedom of speech and all the other things that are in the Constitution, which I think even freedom of speech to me is more important than the right to a free and fair election. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't think I am. I think even if we had a king, but we had free speech and free religion and free association and all those things that are in the beginning, and right to bear arms, all of those things, even if we had a king, I guess I'd be fine with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care who the president is. I mean, I do right now, but I vote every single election. I've never missed a presidential election. I think I've only missed one primary. And anyways, I'm worried about the way things are going right now. And I don't think that the Republican Party is they're not the challenger that we need. I don't know who is, but it ain't them. I don't think it's all these Trump people that think some letter is going to save them. The Q. I don't know. I get on social media and I talk about things with people, and I'm like, I don't know why you guys focus so much on the presidential elections. You need to focus on your local elections. They have more impact on you anyways. Usually, I mean, this executive order stuff is pretty scary, but on the day-to-day, I mean, it's really the school board. They're the ones who make the rules for what they're going to teach the kids. It's the city council. They're the ones who spend the money. It's the majority of your taxes are going to local things. Your state government would be the second most important thing, and nobody pays attention to the state government. Oh my God! And here in Wisconsin, we've got the executive order being used, completely in place of any kind of legislative action, and our state legislatures they're AOL as far as I can see. Tyler August, Cody Horlocker, these two guys are the biggest nothings I've ever seen, and I've voted for them every time that they've ran. That'll change. I'll write my own name in. Well, this is looking like the end of the workout here, so these little half curls I'm doing at the end, they really cause a little extra burn, so I recommend that. If you get one tip out of this, do that.